What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So I had the final review video on Alpha Model's Porsche 911 GT3. So right off the bat, this is a typical Alpha Model kit. I'm sure many of you, or I'm sure a lot of you have not built an Alpha Model kit before, but if you have, you know how I feel about this kit, and these things are just incredible. These kits go together super well. If you bought a Tamiya kit or Yoshima or Fujimi kit before, those kits go together super well. I mean, this is just as high quality as those kits. So let's go ahead and tell you what I did to it. So if you saw my first video or even the Bugatti video, you'll know Alpha Model kits are 100% made of resin. This is all resin. The headlights, the body, the whole interior, the wheels, tires are even resin. Everything. Everything's all resin except the clear parts, obviously. But the clear parts, the lens is resin, but the main windows are not. And there's a lot of photo edge, so it's a very detailed kit. These kits are really known as high quality detail, and they're just super nice kits. So let's go ahead and tell you what I did to mine, and then stay tuned to the end of the video, where I have a slideshow video of it in the photo booth. So, of course, this is based off a 2018 Porsche 911 GT3. The reason why I say it's 2018 because 2018 was the last year they made this spoiler on this car, and then they stopped making this type of spoiler. Then they moved on to a different type of spoiler option. So, but very cool. It's basically the same body style still to this day of the newer Porsches. But very cool. So the body color, let's go ahead and get to it. So the body color is from Splash Paints. Splash Paints has kindly given me the color for it, and it is his chalk gray, which is very popular. It is actually a Porsche 911 GT color, which is on these Porsche 911 GT3s. Actually, the chalk gray is actually the 2018 last year of this car. Well, the spoiler and stuff. Porsche put this color on this car, which is pretty cool. So that's what I did, and it looks. This chalk gray looks amazing. I love the chalk gray on these Porsches. Any kind of Porsche or any kind of car, to be honest. I mean, I know that one of the Honda cars, they have it. It's called Wolf Gray. It's very cool. This just type of gray is just so cool. It's not too dark. I mean, it's pretty light for what it is, and it's really cool. So color turned out amazing with his 2K clear. The primer, I did not use this primer because this primer is not really qualified for resin. So I went ahead and used Badger Airbrush primer, which is good for resin, styrene, plastic, metal and stuff. So that's why I used for primer. And then I painted his color on top of it, which had no reaction to it, and it looks amazing. So very, very cool. The whole exterior body has lots of photo edge and just lots of detail parts. Photo edge grills on the front. I mean, photo edge on the top vents up here, and just a lot of photo edge. I mean, there's photo edge in here where the reflector lights, and then photo edge in here, down here, under the spoiler. I mean, yeah, if you can do a lot of photo edge, these type of kits definitely do have it, and they'll keep you busy for a while. Yeah, even in the brakes. So the wheel color is I believe it's called, I forgot the name of it, but it's from Splash Paints. It's something gray. It's not a dark gray because I didn't want to do just black because I figured black might be a little bit too dark for this color car. So I went ahead and just did a gray, nice dark gray, and it looks really good. So it looks a little bit better than black, I think. So very cool. The roof is from Skidmore Sports. It is their carbon fiber, tail wall carbon fiber. So very cool. And as you know, my first update video, I did a split down the middle, and then carbon fiber kind of meets up the middle and just kind of adds a V shape, which is pretty cool. So very neat. For my first video, there's a lot of pivots on the body because my airbrush likes to spit out pivots. But don't worry, we got all that sanded out and buffed out, so it's shiny as ever, and it looks amazing. So very cool. So normally I'll move on to the chassis, but there's not much to the chassis. It's a curbside. Most of these Alpha Model kits are curbside. Some of these cars you only see the engine, such as this Porsche. Even when you open a trunk, there's even a thrunk back here, or a trunk. There's a thrunk, but trunk. There is even a trunk, but the engine is really hidden away. The engine's actually inside the interior, which is pretty insane. So that's why they call these Porsche 911 GTs or 911's initial, they're called the mid-engine cars because the engine's actually weight in line with the back wheels, which is pretty cool. So I'm not really sure how you see the engine. You might have to take the interior panel out and get to the engine. I don't really know. I'm not a Porsche expert, but I know you don't see the engine. So Porsche really hides the engine in this car. So, but it doesn't matter if it's curbside or not because these Porsche 911s, you don't see the engine at all. Chassis is nothing too particular. It's just a big plate that goes on there and just paint it black and slap it on there. So there's no detail on there. There's no skid plate detail. So there's no rivets because on the real car there is rivets and it's all skid plate. But Alpha Model doesn't take care of that because you're not going to see the bottom of the car anyway. So unless take it to showing some tips over, and then if someone touches your model, you just smack them with a shovel, knock them out. But no, there's no detail on the bottom, which is typical, but not too big a deal. But the wheels, only chassis detail you get is with the wheels and the brakes, or the brake setup. The brakes are nice. You get photo edge for the brakes, and then you do get nice brake calipers, and stuff those together, and it look pretty darn good. So I did do carbon ceramic brakes, so you just paint the photo edge and in a somewhat carbon ceramic color, and then they look good. Red brakes, it looks good with the body color, and also matches the interior, which we'll get to in a sec. But yeah, again, chassis not detailed at all, literally, but not too big a deal. I'm not too worried about it, and again, you don't see it anyway. So let's move on to the interior, which is where detail is really at. Alpha Model really takes care of the interior and exterior on these cars, these kits. That's what the main focus on. So, oh yeah, one more thing I forget here. The exhaust tips are actually aluminum. Those are actually aluminum exhaust tips they included. They did include resin ones. If you want to paint them yourself, but I do like the aluminum ones, and they look great. With black wash in the middle, and they look amazing. So now let's move on to the interior. The interior is a two-tone color. It's a dark red mixed with like a black, like a really dark gray, blackish color, which looks amazing. I love these Porsche colors with this two-tone interior. I see them in real life and a couple of car shows, and it looks really incredible. And especially with this gray, I mean, it really pops in there and looks amazing. So again, photo edge. There is a lot of photo edge in the interior, center console. I mean, even the infotainment system in the dashboard. I mean, there's a lot of photo edge. The gas pedals. So, but yeah, photo edge everywhere, and just a lot of detail painting. I mean, you're gonna be spending some time in the interior. Photo edge for that goes on the seats. And it's just crazy detailed. It looks amazing. Also did some carbon fiber decals in there on the center console type area on the edge, and then also on the center of the dashboard, which kind of splits the two-tone interior. Splits the red and black together, and the carbon fiber in the middle. So very cool. These Porsches, they're not really plastered with carbon fiber. I mean, I know Porsche makes carbon fiber, but I know there's a lot of Porsches don't really have that much carbon fiber, which is pretty interesting. And, you would think this type of car would have a lot of carbon fiber, but there's actually not a lot. So I was pretty interested by that. So I did pretty basic carbon fiber on this car, but I absolutely love it. I love these Porsche 911s. I mean, these are just beautiful cars in real life. I mean, they're so stunning. So, but yeah, it looks amazing. Also, the interior, I'll just flock the interior floor, and yeah, it looks so awesome. So, but other than that, guys, that's pretty much about the whole build. So again, the build went together super well. The clear parts, there is some bending you have to do because the clear parts are not formed. You do have to form them yourself. So these are just clear, plastic, as in here. It's not styrene, or it's not like Alpha Model doesn't have the technology to mold the clear parts and form them. So Alpha Model, they just give you the clear sheet, and then it's pre-cut, and the window trim, the black trim's already on there for you, and all you have to do is just try to do the fiddly part and just put it on there. And you do have to use super glue to glue these windows on because they do have to go on, especially the windshield. It does have to do some tight corners, and yeah, you're gonna have to risk it and use some super glue. Me, I'm not risking too much because I use super glue anyway on my clear parts. But yeah, so the clear parts are a little bit fiddly. And also one more thing fiddly is the windshield wipers. Windshield wipers are really a pain because they are photo edge, and I just got a little bit ticked off of those, so I just 3D printed some some windshield wipers, and they just look just as good. And yeah, so those are two downsides of these kits. You do have to form the windows yourself. Again, kind of risky, but you know, they look good at the end. And then the windshield wipers are just a pain because you do have to do a lot of bending and yeah, gluing. I think the windshield wipers for one windshield is like 3 or 4 parts alone, which is insane. So I just threw it right out and just 3D printed some. I mean, I was just done with that. But other than that, the rest of the kit, amazing, super awesome. Decals are amazing. You know, you do get metal transfer decals. The Porsche emblem is a metal transfer decal that goes on there, and it just looks amazing and absolutely beautiful kit. Alpha Model has outdone themselves. This kit came out almost 2 years ago, I believe. So, but very cool. One other thing I want to mention is the Porsche GT3. This is actually a template Alpha Model gives you. It's what is it? It's it's a photo edge template. You tape it onto the body and then you just paint it on there. So the Porsche GT3 back there is actually paint. It's like a really tight paint template, and you get to tape it really tightly against the body, and you just mist it with an airbrush, and then that comes out. So that got me a little risky because, you know, you mess up and you gotta sand it off, and then, or you know, I use acrylic paint, so I can use, if it turned out good, I can just quickly get it off of it with rubbing alcohol. But got it out in first try, and as you see, it looks amazing. We got detail, super cool. But other than that, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know what you think. I think it looks amazing. I love this car. I mean, Alpha Model is an amazing company. Do I recommend these kits? You know, should you get one? You might ask. No, these kits are pretty pricey. They are expensive. Most most expensive model car kits out there for 1/24 scale, if you know, calculate that. So the kits are 160 bucks, which is, you know, quite a bit. But is it worth it? Absolutely. These kits are super clean. I do mention this a lot, which is pretty insane. These kits are pretty clean, and they're actually cleaner than Tamiya kits. If you bought Tamiya kits, you know how Tamiya kits are clean. But on Tamiya kits, you do have to, you know, sand off the mold lines because there's mold lines on the body and stuff. These kits, there's no mold lines on the body. You basically just take the body out of the box, scuff it, scribe out the panel lines, and it's ready for primer. That's how clean these kits are for resin, which is insane when you talk about. So yes, it's worth it. It's definitely worth the money. Should you get one? Now that's a question to ask yourself. Definitely don't get one if you don't have more than at least 60 or 70 builds up your sleeve. Don't get one because you don't want to mess these kits up, because these are expensive. You don't want to spend that kind of money and for it to end up in the trash. So you do have to have quite a bit of builds up your sleeve before you go up to this level. So yes, they are really nice kits, but make sure you have a lot of builds up your sleeve and a lot of talent, because again, you don't want to mess up this kit because these are really expensive kits. And once you finish with them, as you see, this one turned out amazing, and it makes an amazing display. So very, very cool. But other than that, guys, that's it for this video. Until my next video, I'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy and stay tuned. Sideshow at the photo booth. But until my next video, guys, I'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.